Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Nourish to Thrive podcast, where we discuss all things intuitive eating, nutrition, debunking diet myths, and creating a healthy relationship with food and your body. My goal as a dietitian is to educate and empower you to discover what true health and wellness looks like without the obsession. Today, we're going to discuss a very hot topic. Well, at least a hot topic that seems to be very well known on social media in the nutrition, eating disorder, and period recovery space, and that is going all in. For those of you who may not be familiar with this term, going all in is a term that initially came from some influencers on social media to describe their recovery journey after struggling with a restrictive eating disorder. Going all in means that somebody stops all restriction with food and eats what they want when they want and however much they want. And the goal of going all in is usually one of two things. One, to restore a missing period, or two, to recover from an eating disorder, particularly someone who is needing to regain weight or somebody who is trying to respond to extreme hunger. Just to reiterate what extreme hunger is as well, extreme hunger is pretty self-explanatory, but essentially is when someone who has been restricting themselves from adequate calories for a period of time, aka dieters, bodybuilders, or someone with a restrictive eating disorder, they may begin to experience this sense of feeling never satisfied after eating, no matter what they eat. This hunger feels extreme, and it can be both either physical hunger or having insatiable cravings that just don't go away. With that being said, the goal of going all in for this population is to resolve that extreme hunger and or to regain the missing cycle by intentionally eating according to this hunger, which very likely is in a surplus. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts as to why I would not recommend this for somebody who is very much so struggling with their relationship with food and their body, especially someone who struggles with binge eating. Keep in mind that this is not intended to be individualized advice, and you're free to do whatever you choose. This is simply coming from my professional experience of working with clients who struggle with their relationship with food and from what the research shows on a psychological level. So, first things first, going all in can be triggering. If you already feel like you're not able to fully trust your hunger cues and you struggle with binge eating, going all in can feel like you're binging every single day. From a physical standpoint, this can bring a lot of discomfort and shame if you're not working on improving your relationship with food as well. This can also be very triggering because there's so much physical discomfort that for some people, they get triggered and go right back to restricting when things start to feel really uncomfortable. I also think it's worth mentioning that people who struggle with their relationship with food also typically engage in a lot of negative self-talk. So as you can see how this can spiral into something much deeper if the person going all in does not know how to change the way that they think about food, aka somebody who's stuck in the diet mentality and feeling like they need to lose weight. The second thing is that it doesn't address your relationship with food. As I mentioned in the first point, let's say you decide to eat what you want and when you want and how much you want every single day for months, but you're still criticizing your body, you're still judging your food choices, you want to lose weight, and still have many rules around food. By choosing this method, you're only focusing on the physical aspect of eating more food, but if your mindset towards food is still very deeply rooted in diet culture, you aren't really going to be solving the root of why you may binge eat or feel out of control with food. Because the reality of healing is that you cannot heal a body that you hate. The journey of truly improving your relationship with food and getting back to a place where you feel like you have the freedom to eat all foods without rules or obsessing about every little thing isn't going to come if your life is centered around food or the way that your body looks. The third reason that I wouldn't recommend going all in is that it doesn't show you how to tune into your body and listen to your hunger and fullness cues. Many people claim that this all-in method will help them to restore their natural hunger and fullness cues, but this may not happen for every single person. For some people, this can actually make things more confusing. Because typically when people are so used to restricting and even restricting and then binging, they get used to what it feels like to have suppressed their hunger all day and only eating way past fullness. If you're somebody who feels like they only can feel satisfied if they're eating past fullness because you've gotten so used to it, all in may not show you how to eat intuitively and reach that level of knowing how to stop when comfortably full. And I believe truly that the goal for every single person should somehow be related to achieving freedom with food again, but also to be able to eat in a way that feels the most comfortable for your body on a physical and mental level. I worked with a lot of women who have been in the position of having really unreliable hunger cues because of all the rules that they have followed, that we did have to temporarily implement some structure into their diet so that those hunger and fullness cues can actually begin to re-regulate and feel more normal. While going all in may temporarily satisfy those cravings that you've been putting off for so long, it may not show you how to truly listen to those hunger and fullness cues. And lastly, because all in is something that people often try to do on their own with no support from a health professional, there's really no way of knowing how this may actually work for you. I don't know if this is you, but people are so easily influenced by the people they look up to on social media and unfortunately turn to people who are not dietitians or health professionals for health advice. And the thing is, what an influencer does and decides to share on social media is not what you need to be doing. Your health journey and what you have personally gone through is not what someone else has gone through. And what has worked for somebody else cannot guarantee you the same results as them. And this really goes for any advice on recovering your relationship with food, how to stop binge eating, or really any nutrition advice. I have seen some pretty terrible blanket advice given on social media that really takes people down the wrong path and can actually make things worse. And I say this because I don't want you to get this idea that because somebody else did something, that it's going to work the exact same way for you. You could eat the exact same as somebody else and have a completely different body, a different response, and a different outcome of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So be very mindful, guys, about who you're getting advice from. Especially, please do not be taking advice from people who may respond to you in the comment section, because these are the people that I literally don't know where they come from, aka the truest health experts. And that is me being completely sarcastic, because some of these people that respond to you in the comments trying to give you blanket nutrition advice, I'm like, okay, who even are you? Like, they will have like not even like a picture and like 0 followers, 0 posts, and they think they know everything. So just be very mindful about like what you are getting on social media and who you are following, because that can really impact just the way that you think about health and even yourself. Now, in the case of using this all-in method to restore your period, if you have a missing period, I have very similar thoughts, because this doesn't even guarantee that your body will get a period after just eating more food. Because what I have often seen is that sometimes people think that they're eating a lot of food, but actually may not be eating that much food or enough food to truly get their periods back. There also needs to be exercise modifications, lifestyle changes, and possible nutrient deficiencies that need to be looked at as well for full period restoration. I wanted to keep this episode a little bit shorter than my typical episodes just because I really wanted to keep it very topic specific. But now that I've given my thoughts on this topic, if you're someone who struggles with binge eating, eating past fullness, or is just confused about how to eat to nourish your body without food rules or counting calories or macros, this is exactly what I help the women in my group program with, and I would love to help you too. I will be linking the link to apply in the show notes for you to check out, or you can also find me on Instagram at Emmy's Yummies, as the link to apply will be there as well. And as always, if you have any questions related to anything that I've mentioned today, you're always welcome to send me an email, a DM, or decide to book a discovery call with me to see how I can help you improve your relationship with food. And with that, if you found this to be helpful for you today, if you could please do me a huge favor, leave a rating and review, because this helps my episodes to get out to more people who also may be struggling with this. And it shows me that you truly enjoy listening to the Nourished to Thrive podcast. I appreciate you for listening in today, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode.